Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Love Goals Season 1, Episode 3. Please go check out my Netflix suggestions video if you haven't already. My voice is not, I'm not trying to be sultry. I had just woke up when I did the video, so my voice is deep. But you guys can go check it out if you are interested in seeing what you can watch during quarantine and chill. And I'm going to be coming out with 2 more for Amazon Prime and then 1 for Hulu/YouTube shows. So just be on the lookout for that. Okay, so Love Goals. Let's get to that. So I really don't have much to talk about on this particular episode. We focused on Breon and Sunday. But I really want to sing Dr. Spirit's praises as we go throughout this episode. She is one of the most well-balanced therapists that I've ever seen on reality television. If I'm not saying they need to fire the lady on Marriage Boot Camp, but I could definitely see her and the doctor on Marriage Boot Camp making a lot of strides, and it would be awesome to see. I know it won't happen, but it would be awesome. So let's talk about it. So we got Sunday and Breon this episode. Sunday and Breon meet with Dr. Spirit. The smiley assistant comes to get him. Sunday, Breon, Dr. Spirit would like to see you, please. So they go off. And we all know the beginning status of their relationship, but let me remind you. First, they were just sleeping around. Nobody wanted anything serious. They were agreed on that. Before they moved towards anything serious, it needed to be a discussion, but they were cool with what they were doing. The tables turned when Breon came into wherever Sunday was, introduced himself to the mother and the sister when they had agreed that they weren't meeting parents and they weren't meeting kids, and Sunday was pissed off about it. This is when Breon does admit, because he said this episode 1, he did eventually cop to the fact that, yes, I was the first one that moved the relationship forward. Yes, I was the one. So he began to move the relationship forward. Sunday also wanted to move the relationship forward. They decided that they were going to try to move toward exclusivity with one another. So here we are today, right? Breon admits that he has 2 other women. Okay, he has these 2 other women that he's been dealing with. He's been in a relationship with them. They don't know about each other, and they don't know about Sunday. They know now, but they don't know about Sunday. Sunday knows about them and wants them to know that her and Breon are going to be exclusive before she moves any further with him. Breon wants Sunday to be more vulnerable towards him so that he can know that this whole thing is a go. He doesn't feel comfortable stopping everything he got going on if she's not ready and willing to stop everything that she has going on. And I think at some point it comes out that she also may have some stuff going on and with other dudes as well, maybe some conversations, some flirtations. That came out later in the episode too. So seems that both of them are not ready to let go of their single lives to move forward with each other. But they both say that they want to be in an exclusive relationship with each other. They both said it. All right. So I'm not really sure why there's a lot of, she knew what it was, and she did know what it was, but he agreed to something different, and he actually broke the code of their agreement first, right? Let's not forget that part. I'm just saying that he already admitted to it. That's all I'm saying. So they move forward, right? Y'all, I keep looking at this shirt because I feel like I already wore it this week, but I have washed clothes. Okay, for anybody who think I'm nasty, but this is my favorite errand running shirt. It makes me feel close to home. It's my Carolina shirt. But anyway, I'm sorry. Let's move on. So they're basically doing a tit for tat. I'll be more vulnerable when you let stuff go, and I'm not going to let stuff go because I don't feel like you really want to be with me. I don't feel like you're being vulnerable. And I don't think either one of them want to be with each other. I really don't. I don't see it at all. I think it's all for television, but maybe, I don't know for sure. I'm no expert. Y'all can let me know what you think. So as they're going back and forth, Sunday's demeanor and attitude is very closed off, and Breon says that he just believes she's a liar. She doesn't want to be with him. She's not serious. It's all fake because of her demeanor. She rolls her eyes when I talk. She has an attitude. I don't think she really wants me. And Sunday was like, oh, I don't know why he thinks that, because I do really want him. And one of the things I love about Dr. Spirit, one of the many things I love, is how she is able to look at the problem without blaming the people. She never once holds anybody like extra accountable and then doesn't hold the other person accountable at all. She kind of just looks at the problem and then begins to point out how both parties attribute to the problem, not necessarily who's to blame and you're to blame and you're to blame. So you never feel attacked in her therapy session, and that's a sign of a really great therapist, actually. But she's really, really good at that. So as I was watching, that was just something I noted. So she tells them that both of them mirror each other in their demeanor. You know, they're both very closed off when they talk about their feelings and emotions. There's been no gesture or sign of love between the two of them. So maybe that's something that you guys are both doing when you discuss your feelings, and that's a hurdle that we have to jump over as well. So they get off the hot seat. I'm not really sure exactly what was accomplished, but they kind of agreed to come to an understanding of where the two of them stood in their reservation. Sunday, be more vulnerable. You cut it off with these women, which he says he will do in his way, at his time, which he wants to be face-to-face, not a phone call. And Sunday does not get to dictate how I break up with anybody. And he started feeling some type of way about that, to where Dr. Spirit had to say, okay, don't get defensive, because we on the same team here. We're all trying to get the same stuff done, right? Right. So they go back in the house, and Sunday is talking to the girls about her problems. Keep that in mind. Breon is talking to the guys about his. On Sunday's side, it's a whole bunch of I want what I want when I want it type of talk. And what's interesting to me, and this is no shade to anybody in the group, but it's amazing how many children you find on reality television shows like this. There's no children in the room, but then there's a lot of children in the room. And when we don't get certain needs addressed as kids, they begin to manifest themselves in our problems as adults. And you can see it in Sunday. Sometimes I see it in Benzino. I can see it in Breon. And I can even see it in Teresa's husband. I think it's David, right? I always get it wrong. I can even see a little bit of it in him. So when everybody's talking, okay, Sunday's over there like, well, I just want him to break up with these two women, and he needs to let them know who I am and where we stand. And Althea was like, why? This isn't high school. He could just break up with him. You don't have to be mentioned at all. And it was funny that Althea, who also is quite childish when she wants to be, was the one making a little bit of sense in there. Because on the flip, her man was also, well, her baby daddy was making sense over on the other side, but we'll talk about him in a minute. And Althea was like, not Althea, Sunday, it's not about high school. I know it's not high school. I just want what I want when I want it. I don't want to be patient. I wish I could talk. I'm trying to get my Philly accent down, but she doesn't want to be patient, right? So Althea was just like, well, okay, y'all, you asked her opinion, so you got it. You asked everybody's opinion. So she doesn't really want to hear what the ladies got to say, because they're telling her to kind of be patient and work with it, and she just like, nah. So we get over to Breon, and Breon just like, man, I'm trying to tell you, like, ladies, they just don't really understand, and this, that, and the third. And here come David or Dion, whatever, I forget his name. I'm sorry, y'all. Bo, he talking about, man, we got to get our manpower back. I'm tired of this. I was just like, child. Y'all, don't get me wrong. I understand wanting to hang out with your girls, wanting to hang out with your boys, but we got to remember that this is a couple show. This is not a show that you came to find who your next homeboy was going to be or who your next homegirl was going to be. It's not a friendship show. It's about your man and your lady at the end of the day, and I think sometimes we're getting too caught up on the wrong things. But, okay, the guys, they going to stick together for this one. So, what's his name? What's Sunday man's name? I forgot that quick. The boy, he begins talking about how, we like it real simple. Ladies, they don't realize, we don't want all of that. We don't want all that arguing and fussing and fighting. We just like to keep stuff simple. You know what I'm saying? And, I beg to differ. I really do beg to differ on this, and this is why. If you wanted to keep stuff simple, you would have just kept stuff going with your other two women, and you would have never chose a Sunday. Sunday had a track record before y'all even came onto this show, and just a simple Google search would have showed you that. She was on video doing things with her mouth with a very young man, okay, on her knees, all right, doing things with somebody who had a lot of congestion issues. The video was gross. She posted a picture of her daughter's face adjacent to a penis some years ago That should have showed you what kind of person she is. You saw how she acted on Loving Basketball. Basketball Wives, with Drea, as well as many of the other castmates. I heard that she acted some type of way toward her ex-husband on Marriage Boot Camp. I didn't see it, but we know that Sunday has a certain behavior about her. So if you did not want a complicated woman, you should have never gotten with a Sunday. That's number one. So I don't believe you like the simple life, because if you did, you would have got you a simple woman. You would have stayed with the other two that didn't know about each other, that were eventually going to find out about each other, which leads me to number two. If you don't want problems, so you say you don't want problems, you don't want drama, you don't want to cause issues, then don't behave in a way that's going to end up causing you problems. I'm sure if these two women find out about each other or get an inkling of the fact that something might be going on, then you're also going to have a problem, unless they know about each other. But he didn't state that they did. So you're going to have a problem. And Benzino points out, look, when you young, all that stuff seems fun and whatnot, but I know, like, for me, I'm ready to settle down. And Breon said, like, I'm ready to settle down too. I don't want to keep doing this. And he was just like, because you got 3 different personalities, 3 different people to answer to, and after a while, that is just no longer fun. And that is the reality of the situation. You know, some dudes can handle it, and some dudes can't. You know, some dudes that are into the more polyamorous, polygamous lifestyle, they can handle it. Some can't. Now, what is funny is some men want to go to that, where they can deal with multiple women, but they want the multiple women to, like, shut up. It's like you want to go back to a time where, you know, there was like a suffering silence, but you claim you don't want that, because you know it'll make you sound like a horrible person, but low-key you kind of want it. Low-key you kind of want it, but you know, all I say is, if you're going to do it, you have to either be up to the challenge or be so much of a dictator you just got 3 unhappy women, okay, in a relationship with you and scared to leave you because you might kill them. But, I mean, who wants that other than a sociopath? But, hey, maybe some of y'all, I don't know your business, right? So, yeah, sorry, that was a tangent. So, as they get back together in the counseling session, all the guys have decided they're going to band together. And, Teresa is just like, these are the same problems I have at home. Like, here we go again, right? So they get in there and they sit down, y'all, and it's a mess. There's a whole bunch of back and forth. Sunday is getting heated that Breon is letting Benzino speak up for him, and that she doesn't understand why other people are talking when they're not in her relationship. You let somebody who don't even know why they're here talk about me. Have you lost your mind? Like, she's pissed. And he was like, well, I don't talk to you because I never get a word in anyway. So Breon is just sitting there letting Benzino talk about what needs to be done and what needs to be said and what receipts need to be pulled. And Benzino said he wasn't instigating. I said, could have fooled me. Could have fooled me. But Benzino said, look, we in a therapy session, and I feel like if people got stuff to talk about, I'm putting it all out there. So y'all need to pull it all out there. And I mean, I guess I can kind of see Benzino's point. But what I will say is, this is not, it is a little childish. And I'm going to tell you why. This is not, did you notice how Spinderella and her man, even though they recognized the problems, how they sat over there and minded their business? Like, when they're alone with Sunday, when Spin's alone with Sunday, she will offer her advice one-on-one. But when it comes time to a therapy session for 2 couples to get into their conversation, they let the couples talk. And to me, those are the 2 most mature people in the house, because they know when to hold them and when to fold them. And that's something that you learn when you become an adult and you start behaving like one. But we have a reality show that really is full of a lot of children. You really don't need to interject yourself in anybody's relationship problems at all. I'm very cognizant of that, because I don't want anybody interjecting in mine. But in regards to this, even if y'all do have y'all sidebar conversations where you decide to support one another, I don't think that's something that they should do in the group session, because it comes off as like a battle of the sexes, and that's not really what we're here for. When it's time to play taboo or jesters or who did it, then y'all get in separate groups and go men against the women. But when it comes to a couples therapy, I don't know if it's really the time for that. But again, I think that's a maturity thing, and there's a lot of immature adults walking around, and Sunday is one of them. So Breon is just sitting there like a teenager, letting them talk for him. Sunday gets up and leave. Dr. Spirit goes back to get Sunday. They discuss Sunday's lack of emotions and how everybody downstairs feels like she has a wall up and that she doesn't allow people to converse to her and to talk to her. And Sunday is shocked that Dr. Spirit saw her as the issue. I think it hurt her feelings, and I think she was surprised that Dr. Spirit didn't understand. But it wasn't that Dr. Spirit didn't understand. It was that she was pretty much fighting against her relationship because of her behavior. You won't listen. You won't let your guard down. And Dr. Spirit was calling her on it in a very loving way. She's just so talented and so gifted at doing it. And Sunday was vulnerable with Dr. Spirit. But then when she got back in front of Breon, the vulnerability was like gone yet again. So it's like she puts a wall up in her romantic relationships. So they come in together, and they try to go back to doing another group session. Sunday was hurt that Breon was letting Benzino speak on their relationship. Breon was saying that he was letting other people speak because nobody ever listens to him anyway. She also says that, she just wants to feel like she matters, I guess, to Breon. They again discuss the breakup and what he has to do, and Breon starts getting emotional about that, getting emotional about seeing Sunday upset. He walks off. They have to get together in the bedroom once again and try to be vulnerable with one another once again. So there's a lot of running back to that bedroom. But Breon says that he really does want to be with Sunday. He understands that he has caused her hurt emotionally. He doesn't want to hurt her like that. Dr. Spirit wants Sunday to understand that she cannot afford to put a wall up with him. She cannot shut him out, because if he constantly feels like he's hurting her, then they're never going to come to a common ground or a common understanding. And the reason why I know she did such a good job is because I left the episode and I didn't feel any type of way towards either one of them. I wasn't upset with Breon and I wasn't upset with Sunday. I felt like both of them kind of contribute in their own little ways, and they worked it out in their own way, but they still have a whole lot of work to do. She gives Breon a hug. They hold on to each other because Dr. Spirit wants Breon to see that vulnerable side of Sunday, because Breon really does need to see it in order to make the moves that Breon has to make, and that's breaking up with these other two women that I feel like he's having a hard time with. I think he was crying about them women, honestly, but I'm not sure. But yeah, y'all can let me know what y'all thought about the episode. And one other thing I want to say, we quit calling people in their early 30s young. I know in the grand scheme of things they're young, but sometimes I feel like we use that as like a buffer and a cushion to, sometimes I feel like that's used as a buffer for delaying decisions that are the difference between right and wrong, but sometimes you'll use that I'm young as a buffer to you know what I'm saying? Keep doing the wrong thing because people gonna give you a pass. At 25, 26, that's the most passes I'm going to give for lack of understanding, because your brain, that's when you reach the full decision-making part, right around 25. After that, you know what's right and wrong. Now, you might still choose to do wrong because you lack wisdom. You lack the skill set that you should have for certain relationships. But baby, once you get in them 30s, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It ain't no more me calling you a kid and a young boy. I know Sunday is 47 and Breon is 32, 33, 34, and she definitely does have way more experience, but both of them too old. Both of them too old to be letting their inner child out like this. Go get some individual therapy, and then we can, press forward toward the mark of the higher calling, hopefully. But that's it, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all for the next one. All right, bye.